Hello guys and welcome to the FPL Duo, and we are here for the fixture and transfer tips video for Gameweek 6. Before we get into this video, obviously Huss is unable to join us for this stream, but he will be back for the team selection on Thursday as usual. And also guys, don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more, and leave a comment down below if you wish. So here we go, guys. Again, game week 6, looking like a very good game week, I think, in terms of fixtures and very exciting moves, especially the wild cards potentially being played as well during this game week. So a lot of exciting things to happen. But for this video, in terms of what we're going to talk about the fixtures that we think you should target, the players we think you should transfer in for game week 6 onwards, and what the fixtures look like game week 6 and in the long term future as well for teams. So let's get started. Now obviously there is some midweek football going on at the moment, Carabao Cup, so yeah, we'll get through this very swiftly as well. So let's start off with obviously the fixtures we think you should target for game week 6, and we've selected 3 teams. Now the first team obviously is Arsenal, pretty obvious one. They've got Leicester at home, and it does seem like now Arsenal's fixtures do swing into being really good long term after just playing Man City, which potentially is their most difficult one. Now out the way, we can now focus on bringing back in Arsenal players that we think will do well, Leicester at home onwards. Second down below Arsenal, we got Brentford, who have West Ham at home. Now, West Ham did put up a really poor performance in the last game week. I'm just trying to remember who they played last game week. Off the top of my head. It hasn't come to me, but it will come to me soon. But yes, they had a really bad performance last game week against the team. And it showed, well, actually, I remember now, it's Chelsea. They did lose, I believe, 3-0 against Chelsea. Probably the worst performance I've seen West Ham in a few seasons now. And now that Brentford have them at home, it looks like another good fixture in terms of assets that you potentially look to bring in for that team as well. And last but not least, we've got Nottingham Forest, who have Fulham at home. And currently, Nottingham Forest are unbeaten so far this season. Only wins and draws for them. They have still yet to lose. They come off of a draw against Brighton. Again, another team that hasn't tasted defeat yet. So yeah, those are the 3 fixtures we think you should target and focus on for game week 6. Let's move on to the players in particular that we think you should potentially transfer in. Suggestions, maybe looking at these other players as well for the team around them. But here are the 6, 2 from each. Let's start off with the Arsenal assets. So we decided to go for 1 attacker and 1 defender, depending on which route you're going to go down, as you could go for 2 Arsenal attack and 1 defender, or go for 2 defensive players and 1 attacker. So the first one is Kai Havertz, who is the forward in terms of FPL, and it does look like majority of goals are going to look like coming from Kai Havertz. I think he's a good option in terms of forward. Nailed 90 minutes so far. Hasn't really kicked off that great of a start with obviously 2 goals and 1 assist, but Arsenal did have some mixture of difficulty fixtures from 1 to 5. But now they got nice fixtures. At least the next 3 are really good for Kai Havertz. He is a bit expensive at 8.1, so he's a bit of stretch to obviously. If you're moving from João Pedro to a Kai Havertz, there's a lot of price difference in between, but I think it's worth the reach to get towards the Arsenal asset like him. On the other hand, if you do look to go defensive, there's also Gabriel. I think that's no arguments about which defender to pick in terms of Arsenal. Gabriel has back-to-back goals. We know how lethal he is from corners, and that was shown in the Tottenham and the Man City game, both difficulty fixtures as well. And even Arsenal wiping the clean sheet against Man City, it's also nice to see Gabriel score in that game, which he was rewarded with 7 points at the end of that fixture. So yeah, he's probably the outstanding defender I'll probably pick. There is Saliba too, but I think I'll edge towards Gabriel just because of that aerial threat he does provide in matches such as the ones we saw in Gameweek 5 and 4. But yeah, I think there's no arguments that Gabriel is obviously one of the best defenders you could possibly pick for in terms of Arsenal. If you're looking to go double defense, there's also Saliba too, his teammate, as the optimal pick if you're going for both. In terms of Kai Havertz, Saka works well, I think, with him too up front if you're going for 2 attack and 1 defender. There's not really anyone else I would suggest in terms of Arsenal, in terms of the attack or defense, but those 4 selection. But in particular for these suggestions, Kai Havertz and Gabriel are the ones we have picked. Let's move further down and let's talk about Brentford's one against West Ham. So again, it's going to be a pretty popular pick, but Mbeumo is the option to go for in terms of the attack for Brentford. Considering Wissa is out injured as well, all the more reason why Mbeumo should be the obviously suggestion for transferring him in for the West Ham at home fixture. Now again, Brentford, their fixtures are really good up until game week 13. He's a very long-term pick as long as he stays fit. And again, minutes aren't a worry for Mbeumo as he does play 90 minutes too. So there's no issues there whatsoever. He's had 4 goals so far this season, scoring 1 just after game week 5 against Tottenham. And yeah, he's looking like a very good popular pick, I think, against West Ham at home. If they do repeat the same performances they did against Chelsea, then it looks like Mbeumo could potentially get another brace. On the other hand, if you want to go for a defender pick as well, we have on the screen there next to Mbeumo is Nathan Collins. Nice differential pick in terms of defense. 4.5 million defender. Again, nailed. We are trying to aim for players that play 90 minutes, considering how much rotation there is in the Premier League, especially around this time where midweek fixtures and whatnot are playing a massive factor. But yeah, Nathan Collins is probably the best pick, I think, in terms of defenders you could look out for if you're considering going for a defender pick as well as an attacking option as well for Brentford. I don't think it's such a bad idea with the fixtures they have, because they have managed to keep a clean sheet against they managed to keep a clean sheet. I don't think they've actually kept a clean sheet so far, Brentford, but with the run of nice fixtures coming up, there is a possibility that they get the first one. He does show attacking threat though, Collins, with 2 assists in the season. So if you're not looking for obviously clean sheets for Collins, there is that potential attacking turn he could provide as well in the nice fixtures that Brentford do have. And finally, let's move on to the last players for the fixtures you should target, which obviously they're not on the Forest guys. And the first one is Chris Wood. Now, again, this pick that we decided to go for Chris Wood, main guy up front for Nottingham Forest. He may not play 90 minutes every game, but he has looked dangerous and he's on penalties too for Nottingham Forest. Currently unbeaten so far, and they have looked pretty good so far this season considering who they've been playing against. And yeah, a lot of upside, 6.1 million forward. I think he's the best around his price forward to go for. And he's a differential still at 8.5%. Sorry, I do expect that to go up due to him scoring the goal against Brighton in that 2-2 draw. The fixtures though for Nottingham Forest a bit up and down. Well, not really up and down. You got Chelsea away in game week 7. Apart from that, they're nice fixtures up until game week 11. So that's when the fixtures do turn for Chris Wood. But he is the main man for Nottingham Forest in terms of goals. He is a provider. He's on penalties, so he is the best pick, I think, for a forward option if you're looking to target Nottingham Forest against Fulham at home. And right beside him is a interesting pick in terms of defender. But that is Ola Aina. Again, another 4.5 million defender, 90-minute defender as well. The only time he didn't play 90 minutes was the first game week where he played 53. But apart from then, he's played 90 minutes all the way through the season so far. Again, another differential guy is 5.5%, and he is cheap. Now, he may not keep clean sheets every week. He kept one against Southampton and surprisingly against Liverpool, but don't underestimate Nottingham Forest. This is another Nottingham Forest that have improved compared to last season, and I'm liking the looks of them so far, and it's definitely not a bad idea to not include a defender like Hayner into your team, where you might not expect a clean sheet coming, especially when obviously there was one against Liverpool in that 1-0 win. So he is a defensive option if you're looking to go there in terms of Nottingham Forest too, and also Chris Wood if you're looking for the attacking option there as well. So that's pretty much the transfer suggestions for each of those 3 teams that we think you should target. And let's finally move on to the fixtures and what the teams' fixtures look like for the next, obviously, game week 6 to 8. And obviously, up the top, you've got Arsenal, which we've spoken about. Their run of fixtures is really good. Below them, we've got Brentford, who we've spoken about also. Second best fixtures on there too. Surprisingly, Ipswich have the third best. I don't know how much I agree with those fixtures being in terms of easy, but there is Leif Davies, who I'd probably only recommend looking at, considering, as he does provide assists for Ipswich, but I don't expect many clean sheets. I would only expect Davies to get attacking returns, but I won't be looking at any other player for Ipswich at the moment. Just below them, we've got Everton. Again, defensive options, not really a good idea because Everton have conceded a lot of goals so far this season and in a bit of trouble. So, yeah, in terms of Everton, I don't really consider any assets from there. Maybe a Calvert-Lewin, but apart from that, no, there's not really any ones that stand out to me in that fixture. Next one down below, you got Man United. Now, as a Man United fan, watching their games in the Premier League and obviously off the Premier League, defensively, assets could be a good option to go for, like a Mazraoui, who, if you guys haven't watched Man United games, he plays really high in terms of defender, and he can provide some attacking threat as well. But Man United's defense is probably the best attribute in the whole entire team. Sometimes they may look a bit disconnected at the back, but some games when they really focus and obviously they somehow manage to get a clean sheet in their fixtures. So yeah, don't underestimate Man United's defense. I wouldn't go for the attack as it's a bit obviously unpredictable on who's going to start. Garnacho might play, he might be benched. Rashford, same thing, might be benched this week. Doesn't know how many minutes he's going to play. And there's not really a prolific goal scorer for Man United at the moment. It seems to be one person scores this week, another one this week, and so on. So I think the safe bet is maybe you could include a Man United defender, personally. And obviously, below Man United, you've got Chelsea, who have a nice run of fixtures. I'm surprised they're that down below. I would have rated them higher. But again, the likes of Nicholas Jackson, who comes off of 2 goals and 1 assist, could be a good player to go for if you're looking for a forward option. Arguably Palmer, depending on how you feel about spending 10 million on him, as he's not really providing as much as he did last season due to the players that obviously play around him now. So he's playing a little bit more deeper and less chances coming to him, but he is still scoring game. He's still scoring in games, so I feel like he is still a good option to go for. But Nicholas Jackson and obviously Cole Palmer could be 2 attacking options to go for. Cucurella, another one, if you're looking for a defender, or Sanchez, the goalkeeper, if you believe Chelsea will keep clean sheets as well. Obviously, below Chelsea, you've got Bournemouth. They have a nice fixture against Southampton. This is a potential fixture to target as well. because that fixture being most appealing this game week 6. Semenyo raises the appeal factor. Obviously, he had a goal disallowed against Liverpool in the other competition. So, yeah, he does show a lot of opportunities for Semenyo. A bit underlooked, I think, in terms of ownership, because he only is 7.4% owned. But he's had a good start to the season, 2 goals and 1 assist. And yeah, I've liked the looks of Semenyo. He's cheap, 5.6 million. I think that's a good price for what he is providing for the team. Now that Solanke's moved on, he is pretty much the main striker for them, besides the new one they brought in for Bournemouth, but he hasn't really started, kicked off well. So I would put my faith in Semenyo, and he's possibly one player I'm looking at for game week 6 with that Southampton fixture. In terms of other players, there's not really any other I'm looking at apart from Semenyo. But yeah, maybe when the fixtures do change, you may look at a defensive option. Obviously, we've spoken about Nottingham Forest, who've got Fulham at home next. Could be a good game for them to continue that unbeaten record so far. And it is a home fixture too. And finally, we've got Newcastle at the bottom. Obviously, it's the worst fixture against Man City at home, so I wouldn't really suggest going for any player who's got Man City. I mean, Newcastle possibly score in that game, but again, Newcastle assets haven't really appealed to me that much this season so far. On the other hand, they got Harvey Barnes. His minutes are variable, but he has scored 3 goals and managed to get 1 assist in the minutes he has played for Newcastle. So if you are willing to stretch for that, maybe a Harvey Barnes could be good. Isaac one hasn't really worked out, and I would be avoiding the Newcastle defence until obviously I see some more consistency in their games. But that pretty much, guys, is everything spoken about. We've spoken about the fixtures to target, the transfer suggestions, and the easiest fixtures in terms of game week 6 to game week 8. So I think that pretty much wraps it out, guys. Before obviously end the stream, make sure you give this video a like, subscribe for more. Hopefully you enjoyed the content, and leave a comment down below if you wish. But yes, I think we'll wrap up here, because obviously there is football currently going on at the moment, and obviously we'd like to watch, see what's going on there. But yeah, take care, guys. The next stream will be the team selection on Thursday, so stay tuned for that for game week 6. But until then, take care, enjoy the rest of your evening, and see you very soon.